Starting your location independent consulting business or business service business. How do you manage your time? Because I assume, if you're like most humans, you have other shit going on, right? Maybe you have a job. Some of you have girlfriends, boyfriends. Some of you have kids. Some of you are married. Some of you have a lot of stuff in your fitness life. Some of you have a lot of stuff in your dating life. Some of you travel. How do you plug this in? How do you manage this? Here's how you do this. First of all, my overall guideline for starting your location-independent business that sets you free from your 9-to-5 job and gets you more internationally mobile so you can leave the collapsing West if you want, or at least have the option because you have location-independent income now. Starting a business like that requires at least 15 hours per week. More is better, and the more hours you put in, the faster the money will come. That's just math. Okay? But if you have 15 hours a week, that can work. If you have 20, better. 25, better. 30, better. 50, better. You may not have 50, and that's okay. So that's number one is you sit down with your weekly schedule and you determine how many hours a week can I devote to this new business per week. Time management, I've been teaching time management for, 15 years now? I forget. Long time. Time management starts, or at least the core around time management is managing the week. Not managing the day, not managing the year or the quarter. Those are important too. But the week is the key. So you sit down with a weekly calendar and you say, all right, how many hours a week do I have to devote to this business? So if you have a job, take your calendar and block out your job. If you have to fucking drive to your job, kill me. Add your commuting time in there. So job plus commuting time, that's not available, right? Okay. Then what else do you have going on? Obviously, you got to sleep. Put your sleep in there. I get 8.5 hours of sleep. I track it with this Oura Ring right here. Great. I put that in there. Then things that are non-negotiables to you. If you have small kids, got to put those in there. When you spend time with your kids, now most of you don't have kids, don't need to worry about this. If you go to the gym, that's important. When you go to the gym, plug that in there. The non-negotiables, not the things I want to do. Well, when do I watch Netflix? When do I smoke weed? When do I hang out with my buddies at the bar? You guys don't hang out with buddies at the bar. This is in the 80s. Let's see. This is the modern era, 2020s. When do I sit down and scroll through doom scrolling with TikTok and get mad about politics? No, that comes last. These are just the non-negotiables, right? Okay. Sleep, work, small children, shit like that. Maybe going to the gym. Now, going to the gym, for some of you, that does mean you spend 3 hours at the gym 5 days a week. You're trying to build a business. You can't spend 3 hours at the gym every day, 5 days a week. I'm sorry. Cut back. Get free. Make several $1,000s a month. Quit your stupid 9-to-5 job. Be internationally mobile. Get location independent. Then you can work out all you want. It'll only take a year or two, if that, right? Now you have an idea for how much time you have to devote to your business. Hopefully it's more than 15 hours a week. If it's more, great, and you block that time in. And then once a week, and I do this every week myself, you sit down and you block off time in your calendar of when you're going to spend time in your business. So here's a really easy example. See if I can do the math correctly. Let's say, all right, let's say I'm a normal guy and I have an 8-to-5 job, okay? I'm going to spend 2 hours on Monday nights. I'm going to take Thursday nights off. I'm going to spend 3 hours on Wednesday nights. I'm going to spend 1 hour on Thursday night. So we're up to 6 hours now, right? Take Friday night off. I'm going to spend 6 hours on Saturday. So that's 11 hours. I'm going to spend 4 hours on Sunday. There's your 15. That's very doable. 4 hours out of your waking day. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing the math correctly here, but I sleep 8.5 hours a day. So that means if you deduct that from 24, that means I have what? 15 and a half waking hours or whatever. And you might sleep less than me, although you probably shouldn't. 4 hours out of that, no big deal at all. No big deal. I know guys who have, they work like an hour a night or hour and a half on the week nights, every weeknight. They put on a full day on Saturday and they take Sunday off. Great. That's all you need. Now, if you're motivated and you hate your job and you're living in a collapsing country, you Americans, you Canadians, you British people, maybe you want to spend more than 15 hours and you put in more. Great. So you plug those hours in after you've plugged in your non-negotiables first. Then you put in on each block what specifically you'll work on. And if you're starting a brand new business, that's probably identifying a niche and or doing niche outreach, niche research to find out what that niche's biggest problem is. Probably. Now, if you already have found your niche, Then you have to develop what the offering you're going to sell to that niche, and you have to get on the phone and sell your first 1 to 3 clients. After that, you can do other things like running ads and things like that. Make sense? That's how you manage time in your business. Caleb, what if I don't have 15 hours a week? I don't have any easy answers for you. Make some fucking changes. But the vast majority of you have 15 hours a week. If you do what I just did, you'll figure this out. Caleb, how do I prioritize my time in terms of what I'm doing? So your business life is a lot less complicated than mine. I'm working on numerous projects and numerous funnels and numerous income streams and numerous companies, and it's a little complicated for me. That's why I work long hours, 6-7 days a week, because I'm motivated and I like to work and I have big goals. So for me, it's a little more complicated. For you, it's a little simple. You're just going to continue to work on whatever you were working on before when you start a business. When you first start a business, get your first 1 to 3 clients, you don't need to set up a website. You don't. You don't. Maybe a LinkedIn page, maybe. Probably not even that. Not your first 1 to 3 clients. After you have client number 4, 5, 6, then it's time to set up a website and all that other junk. You don't need to do that right now. All you need to do is what I've been talking about for a long time. Identify a narrow business B2B niche. Number 1. Then after you identify that niche, it's a real niche, and it qualifies for all the requirements, then you get on the phone and you ask that niche what they want, what's their biggest problem, and you keep your mouth shut and don't lead the witness. Say, is it AI? I can do an AI app for you. I don't care what you want at the end of the day. Okay, then you come up quickly with a solution for that thing. If you don't know how to do it, you go to Upwork and hire the people there. And then 4th, you get back on the phone to the same people and you say, hey, I can fix that problem for you. We're leaving $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, whatever. Boom, that's it. So you always know what the next step is. And if you're not sure, you can leave a note in your calendar or your spreadsheet or whatever you use, whatever tool you use. When you're done working, I have to do this because I have so many projects going. Hey, when you start working on this again, here's your next action. And I have several spreadsheets for my projects. At the top of the spreadsheet, it says in big red letters, next action. So I remind myself, oh, that's where I was. Because what you don't want to do, because people are guilty of this, okay? I used to do this when I was stupid. You're working on this project, you haven't worked on it in 3 days, right? So you come back in 3 days and go, okay, so where was I? So you spend 15 minutes figuring out where the fuck you were. Well, okay, oh, I did that. Okay, so was it, don't do that. Leave yourself a little note when you're done working for that block of time. Next action, do this. And put some links if you're dealing with websites or whatever, or a path to the spreadsheet you're working on, or whatever the hell you're doing. So it's nice and easy. You can sit down and within 10 seconds, roll right back into the project again. Make sense? That's it. This is not complicated. Don't make this complicated. When you have a big business and you've got hundreds of clients, then it's complicated. Right now, when it's new and you have 0 clients or less than 3, actually we're less than 4, this is very simple. You know exactly what to work on and exactly how to allocate your time. Take advantage of the reality. This is the beauty of starting a new business. It's simple. It's easy, especially the models that I teach. Cool? Get that done. You'll be making money very quickly.